Hi, welcome again to Electrovox. I'm joined by Auger. Hello.
Hello.
It's nice to see you again. It's been a while.
It has been a while. I was thinking it before. I can't actually remember the last time that I saw you, but it has been a fair while. It's been in the years, I think.
I think it's been in Fest a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah, a
yeah,
few years ago.
yeah.
So,
And by a few years, it's probably add two because of COVID. So maybe it's 2019 or something.
wow, yeah, maybe. Okay, well, for those who don't know you, could you just please quickly introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Kyle Black. My project is Auger. It's a dark rock stroke synthwave slash anything that I want to write really. Project that sort of combines a lot of heavy uh, guitars with a lot of very melodic and very soft synths and very smooth vocals. It's like sort of pop music with a bit of an edge, and a lot of black.
It's definitely a good way to describe it because it is quite hard to describe
Yeah, it
your
is.
music.
And I think that's the beauty of it. No one can tell me what to do, so I'm kind of just let loose, creating song after song.
I do what I want.
Yeah, that's it. And it sort of ended up in this big mix of all different types of stuff. So, but that's nice. It means that I can listen to something, love it, and then write something that I'm inspired by without worrying too much about what it sounds like. It
Hmm.
kind of always sounds a little bit like me, so that's nice.
And of course, sounding like you're very well known for your deep voice
Yes,
during
yes.
when you sing. So, have you ever got to a point when you're singing live where you think, "I don't think I can do this next bit"?
Sometimes, yeah. If the monitoring isn't very good on stage, which is very tricky with a low voice, it gets lost in everything.
Hmm.
So I typically sing higher on stage just because it cuts through the mix a little bit more. But when the monitors are good, it's like a little personal challenge to think, right, how low can I go? Because I can see some people going, "Oh, he's got a low voice," and like, haha, watch.
It's a
And
very
then I
nice
push
place
really
to
low,
be.
yeah. And then I'm just singing to the worms five minutes in, I think. But yeah, monitor depending. I'll always try and go as low as possible just because it's fun, it's
Hmm.
something to do.
Yes, definitely. And you have a new double single out, I believe.
Yeah,
So, tell us a
absolutely.
bit.
Yeah, so there's two tracks, Where Do We Go and Head in the Ground. Very different tracks, but of the same sort of palette, sort of very catchy, but one on more of the positive, sort of uplifting side, and one on the more sort of moody side, just to kind of test the water of where to go with the next single, and how to sort of shape the tracks of the album. These are sort of testers to think, right, this has gone well, so it
Oh, that's
helps make a decision of what song to put first.
it's a good idea because when there are two singles on a release, you think, why are they so different?
Yeah,
It never made any sense, but that's clearly the most obvious
that's
answer.
it. I mean, when there isn't a label sort of helping you shape where you're going with it, it can be very easy to get a little bit carried away and to write some very different songs. So it's important to kind of test the water a little bit and see what works well, to then make decisions about what to release next. The true fans will listen to it all, but building new fans, you've got to sort of find what people are going to respond to and sort of play the game a little bit like chess. And the album comes out and people will listen to it anyway, hopefully. But along that journey, it's brought a few more people in because you're able to sort of predict what's going to do better based on how something's been received.
As long as the algorithm's on your side and doesn't
Yeah.
just randomize the crap out of your
Yeah,
statistics.
I mean, sometimes it happens. Sometimes a random song from the back catalogue goes really popular, and I'm a bit like, oh, no one listened to this because it's really early days, and I'm not, it's not the best recorded or anything, but the algorithms decided that's the one
Oh,
today. So,
okay. That's a good point because one of the generalized questions I suppose I ask sometimes is there a song of yours
Mhm.
that you would rather you just hadn't ever released?
I mean, I guess not, because when writing them, I was so excited in the moment, and even those earlier ones, yes, some of them are a bit rubbish, but remember writing all of them, particularly the first ones, because that was when I was trying to write stuff. I'd never written an album before. I'd never produced or mixed or mastered an album, so everything was an experiment. So it's bound to have been a little bit pants along the way. And then, yeah, there's a couple of songs. A lot of the early stuff was inspired by Bluesengel, and I thought, oh, the German audience might like this, so I tried to sing in a kind of a German accent thing.
Yes, I remember the first time you sung
Mhm.
German lyrics. Yeah.
Yeah, and I kind of wish I'd just sang it like I normally do, and it took me a couple of albums to phase out. Um, so yeah, maybe I'd re-record them, but the songs themselves are okay.
Did you get some feedback from some German people?
No, they seem to
No,
love it, so it's
that's
it's fine. It's more a personal thing. Like my wife loves the first album. I'm like, oh, please don't listen to that.
oh yes, because your wife is German
Hmm.
and you've moved
I
to
have,
Germany.
yeah, yeah. I'm the locals' favorite Auslander is what I call myself.
Oh,
Lieblingsausländer. Yeah,
that's a good nickname.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you've been quite well received in the German music scene, I imagine.
Yeah, I mean they're very very supportive and very enthusiastic, and it's been a real great experience to be able to experience that firsthand, and also do our first headline tour in Germany, and that being received so well. So yeah, I'm really grateful for people's support, and I've always loved that kind of German lifestyle, and the country itself is very beautiful. So it's been great to be based there, and it's also been a lot less stressful thinking, oh, I have a gig in Köln, and it's like, oh, it's only like 6 hours drive, so just drive there, as opposed to being, oh, I have to fly or get a train here, then fly, then find a drum kit, and then find this or whatever. I can just drive.
Did you find that in the early days of Auger you were more well received in Germany than you were in the UK in that case?
At the very beginning, it was kind of half and half. I think probably more so in England because we were the first new band, young. I think we were 21 when we started to come out in a long time. I think that sort of mixing in with that scene. So I think a lot of the UK scene were quite refreshed by hearing something a little bit young and a little bit new, as instead of the same bands. Um, but at that point, the Germans were already used to pretty good caliber bands, so we were like a little bit out of place in Germany. We needed to kind of get a little bit better because the novelty of being a young band wasn't so prominent in Germany. So
Yeah,
now that we've
they've
kind of mastered it a little bit more, I think it's teetered on the German side.
because I've heard Germany's very much like they stick to the classic bands. New bands are very hard to
Uh,
break through, I've
I
heard.
mean, yes and no. I think it's probably easier over there than it is here. There's a lot more opportunities in terms of there's quite a wide variety of festivals, but also a lot of bands doing tours over there because their numbers are good. So there's a lot of opportunities for support slots for new bands to come along. And yes, the festivals can be sort of predominantly similar lineups. That's only because there aren't that many bands out there. But I've seen quite a few new bands come in the last 3 or 4 years who are already starting to get on some of the festivals and appear quite frequently as support slots. And the great thing about the audience is they're very, very loyal, and they come very early to watch the shows, and they buy your merch even if they only heard one song. They really trust in the process to support the bands
Hmm.
to help them grow, and that's why we've been able to grow as well because they came to all the times that we were the first band on 5 minutes after doors. They were there to watch us.
The real
So,
test, if you've made it in Germany, though, is did any of them dance?
oh yes,
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's a sorcerer's art to try and get it to work, but believe it or not, we've kind of slowly shaped the set to do just that because it happened once, and I was like, "Oh, they're dancing,"
You made it.
yeah, yeah, and it's fun. I mean, the more energy the crowd puts in, the more energy we get, so the more energy they get, and it's like this sort of really great relationship. So, yeah, we've been working on building that up and up and up to try and get as much like good feeling out of the shows as possible.
Good. Okay. Well, I'm glad to hear you're doing well out there after you've moved, essentially.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, okay, so some more serious questions.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Oh,
Augur's changed a lot since you
uh,
first started.
yes.
What happened there then?
The same thing I said at the very start. No one really tells me what to do, so it's kind of just whatever I've been listening to becomes the inspiration, really. So, but on saying that, between the first, second, and third album, they're all different. I mean, you've got a very sort of conceptual album for the first one with a couple of more traditional dark wave tracks. Second album, you've got some kind of progressive metal inspired tracks. Third album, a lot of dance metal. It's always been a changing feast. Even the last album, Nighthawks, you've got everything from Oxygen to Smother. I mean, you've got something that's very heavy and something that's very light on the same album. So it's always been a mixed bag. There's certainly, I get fixated on bands that I really like, and I listen to a lot of that, and that of course bleeds into what I'm doing at any given point. But I think it's nice to keep it mixed, because if you don't like some of the new stuff, well, there's always the old stuff, and we always play a mix live because it's all about having the most fun possible on stage anyway. So
Yeah.
it's always going to be a mix
And your
of
lineup's
songs.
changed as well, essentially, like the members. So obviously, still you.
Yeah,
But
yeah. The project is still me. I have Alex on stage with me this time with the drums. Sometimes we have keyboards, sometimes we don't. It's a case of what works from a show to show basis. I've learned that I really love having the drums, so the drums are very much like they're a staple. But I'm building on introducing more musicians where I can and finding people. And it's difficult for younger people to earn a living and to sort of fund their lives. So then to ask them to give up quite a lot of Saturdays and Fridays or whatever
it's
to do
hard,
shows
yeah.
is really difficult. So I think it's always going to be a bit of a change, a movable feast in terms of the lineup. But
Mhm.
that's the live lineup. The in the studio stuff, it's me, and always has been. Apart from when it was Kieran as well. But even then, I was a bit bossy, so it was
Oh,
very much me anyway. Although when he did chime in, it was genius stuff that he came up with. So I'm always excited to work with people if I can.
yeah, okay. And since obviously things have changed and you've found success in Germany, and do you feel that being a musician has changed you from who you used to be?
Yeah, I mean, it would be impossible for it not to. The Auger consumes my every day.
Ah,
So surrounded by it. We're still a small band, and we've still got a long way to go before we're successful or whatever. However you measure that. But I put everything into it, so it's become very much me, and I'm very attached to it. But also, it's really given me an outlet to be creative and to also be myself when in the past I've not really fit in anywhere, which is always the story I know, but it is true. So it's nice to actually have a little community that are with me and to be able to share the music with people and more people every time I get to do it. So it's
yeah.
changed me in terms of it's made me more confident, but self-confident, I think,
Okay, that's good.
which I think I really needed. I'm um, not a very confident person anyway, but so every little bit of confidence is always nice.
And you're also a very skilled producer as well,
Thank you.
essentially.
Yeah.
So, because you obviously do your own
hmm
stuff, but you help other people as well. So,
Yeah, yeah. Whenever I can, I'm always happy to work with people. It's really nice actually because I don't have to write the song. I can just play with it. You know, when someone comes to me with a song, it's like the creativity starts after the song's already finished. So it's like there's a whole world of stuff to do. Whereas when you're writing it yourself, the creativity has to start from the beginning, and it can almost run out before you get to the end. So it's been yeah, it's nice.
because I reviewed a little while back Imogen's
Yeah.
Imogen Evans
hmm
album,
Yep.
and I could hear the production value in that album all the way
Yeah.
through,
Yeah.
going, "That's definitely
Yeah,
Carl's work." So,
yeah, she was very very kind actually because she did come to me with some like the chord progressions or maybe something she was playing on guitar for it, and I kind of recorded it for 30 seconds and then was like, let's just do this instead. And she was more than happy to kind of work with that and to
hmm.
develop her own songs, which is a great songwriter anyway. It's very easy to work with people who are talented
Yes, there
because they do a
was
lot of the legwork in terms of the melodies are great and I was only able to add bits to just bring those out more than anything else. She's good.
yes, it was definitely one of those songs on there that made me cry. So yeah,
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
very talented. Um, okay, and if you could play your entire set
hmm
to just one person, who would that be and why?
Ooh, tricky. See, the obvious answer is my wife,
Obviously.
but my dad has not been able to go to a lot of shows
Okay.
through a bit of agoraphobia and being a little bit socially anxious in spaces, particularly there's a lot of people and a lot of stimulation going on with the lights and stuff. So I've come so far in terms of how like I perform and really worked hard to try and eke out as much like performance value as possible and him being the original inspiration for the music along with my mum, it'd be really great to perform to him if I could.
Mm.
It'd be a bit awkward if I stood him in a room and did a full production. I mean, we could do it. He did say that was his dream. If he won the lottery, he'd pay all his favorite musicians to be in a room with them perfect sound, and he'd just sit in the middle and just close his eyes and just have this sort of eight-dimensional.
Yeah, if I won the lottery, I would be contacting Highland pretty quick. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Just perform for me for 3 hours straight while I fall asleep, just with all these symphonic noises. That'd be cool.
And have you ever? Because I know some of your songs are dedicated to some people that are not
Hmm.
with us anymore. Do you feel a sense of spirituality sometimes when you perform in any way?
Um, yeah, kind of. I think the whole thing you could argue is a bit spiritual in terms of it's nothing quite like the feeling of when the chorus comes in or when something it's very lifting anyway. So if the lyrics are also very personal, then it's inevitable that it kind of lifts you up a little bit and it is a nice chance for me to sort of have a personal moment on stage with those certain sections of songs dedicated to those people in my own way. And people might not see it because obviously it's in my head when I'm doing it, but
Mm.
it every time I play certain songs, that's what happens, and it's my little dedication to them,
Yeah.
which is nice. It's a nice way of doing it in a way that maybe I didn't have chance to do it when they were still with us. So,
Yes, it's touching tribute. And then what's your favourite song to play live?
oh god, it's the most popular, but probably Oxygen
Hmm.
because it's popular and people always sing along to it, and it's just got such a satisfying chorus. Um, and it's just a feel good song. It's got so many positive feelings to it, and it's really great. So it's probably that, but like from a guitar point of view, this Pain I Compress has become like a dark horse because I get to really rock out on the guitar, which I don't normally get to do. So I've been enjoying sort of getting my rock on with that, much to the delight of some fans who are like, "Oh, I thought they were like a synth band," and I'm the headbanging going for it. It's like thinking in my head, trust me, there's only three more songs of this, and then it gets really light. But let me have my moment.
Let me just mess you up a bit first.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Trying not to scare them off in the first four songs, but it can't be helped sometimes.
nice. Okay. Um, two final questions. Infest Festival, where we are.
Hmm.
So, what effect has Infest had in on your life?
My mum played Infest in
Oh wow.
1998, 1999, in fact, and it was the second Infest. And so it has been a thing since I was 2.5 or 2 and 11 months, I guess. It's been a thing my whole life. So I've always been aware of it. I've always known it because my mum played it and it was a big thing when she did. So it's been something that I've been dying to play ever since I decided to take on music. Um, so it's great to have that opportunity now and hopefully do a good job.
Yes, lovely. And lastly, do you have anything you'd like to say to your fans?
Thank you for your support. Like I can't stress enough how like important that is, and it always sounds very cliche because it's always like, oh, we wouldn't be able to do it without people supporting, but that's the whole point. It's true, and I'm just grateful that people have sort of tolerated my long absences on social media, forgetting to post things, but also my schizophrenic music taste in that it jumps around from song to song, and it will always be Auger, it will always be slightly different, and people are really receptive of that, and I appreciate it. And shout out to my Discord crew as well, who always watch my live streams. They keep me sane every Wednesday.
I still think as well when you're saying like how much you change. I think this all the different random songs you played during lockdown on an acoustic guitar.
Mhm.
You should really release an acoustic covers album of all the
Yes,
ones that you did because
that yeah,
they are.
I've wanted to do it for so long. I think I've wanted to do it for so long now that actually there's pressure to do a really good job of it. So I am working on it, but I want to do it properly and have everything properly set up, and maybe even get some musicians in to do some string instruments or maybe some woodwind or something, just to really bring it all together. But yeah, I played over 100 different songs during those live streams, which I could not play 100 different songs. I'd have to look on my phone, and I was just taking requests to the point. I was like, I never played this, but I think I know how the chorus goes. Let's just wing it. It's fine. We got nothing else to
It
do.
worked well.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, thank you ever so much
Oh,
for taking
thanks
the
for
time to talk
chatting.
to me.
Yeah, yeah, really
And
appreciate it.
yeah, thank you
Excellent stuff.
guys for watching.
See you later.